Hey, this is Jay Kumar, the BassBlaster, and this is your Seafoam Top 5 of the Week in Bass Fishing presented by Kistler. Number 1. Gotta start off with what seemed like this kind of announcement from BASS. Which it still kinda is, but kinda not as much as people first thought. I'm talking about them announcing literally out of the blue that the Elite Series will no longer have entry fees. In other words, the roughly 100 guys who fish the Elite Series will no longer have to pony up $45,000 a year in entry fees.
You know you make me wanna kick my heels up and throw my hands up and...
Now that sure sounds great, and a few years back that was the primary deal, no entry fees, that attracted a bunch of Elite Series Pro to the new at the time MLF Bass Pro Tour.
He's free?
Yeah, help yourself.
But then COVID happened and the no entry fees on the MLF BPT vanished. Will that ever come back?
Maybe, possibly.
Now the difference with Bass's announcement is that they're doing it during an economic, let's call it a downturn, which hopefully means that long term it's sustainable. But the flip side of this deal, and there's always a flip side when you're fishing for when you're fishing for those big girls with big stakes, there's always a flip side, man. And in this case, it's that BASS substantially reduced the payouts. Here's a quick look at 2025 payouts versus 2024. Kind of a heavy hit, no doubt. So it looks like BASS took a good step, no entry fees, but the next step needs to be payouts along the lines of when there were entry fees or better. Will that happen?
Crazier things have happened.
Let's find out, man. Number 2. Alton Jones is a Bassmaster Classic winner and has been a for sure hammer throughout the years.
They can't touch. Yo, I told you can't touch this.
Plus, he did a great job raising another pro fisherman who goes by the name of Junior.
Junior?
Don't call me Junior.
Anyhow, Alton Sr. has been fishing without a bait sponsor for a few years now and is ready, willing, and able to talk about any bait he uses. I get with him every season to talk about what he's discovered, and here are 3 baits he kind of fell in love with this season. First is the Berkley Fritzside 5 Biggin crankbait. That's the biggest of the Berkley Fritzside flat sides at about almost 3 inches. And people have loved that series of baits ever since it came out. Of course, as the name implies, they were co-designed by crankbait black belt and legendary pro David Fritz, who by the way also designed the excellent Rapala DT crankbait series. Alton says he loves the Fritzside Biggin because he's catching tons of fish with it, especially around rock, gravel, and grass. He says this time of year he likes to burn it and then kill it, and that when he kills it, it doesn't float up, it just sits there right in front of the fish's face and they can't resist it. Alright, the next one he fell in love with is the jackhammer. 99.9% of bladed jigs fished in big time tournaments are the Z-Man Evergreen jackhammer. Not the original chatterbait or one of many similar bladed jigs, the
Jackhammer.
Alton said he didn't really fish it when he had competing bait sponsors, but now
It is on like Donkey Kong.
the third bait on this list is the OG 3.75 Canyon Plastics Gitcha or tube that he Texas rigs. He fished it a lot early in his career and he's fishing it again, and he says for whatever reason he just gets a lot of bites on it. He said he's not sure why, a little different shape maybe, or just confidence in it. Anyhow, there you go. Thanks, Al Sr. Number 3. The Neko rig is getting a revival, or at least a new life, as one of the preferred ways to catch them with forward-facing sonar, aka live sonar. Guys have found that this rig does a couple things. One is that it's an efficient and fast presentation, which is key with forward-facing sonar. Another thing is that it's a finesse presentation, which is a key deal if you're fishing multi-day tournaments or you're just on pressured lakes. And even though the Neko rig started, at least here in the US, with a worm, which is still the most popular bait to Neko, we're now seeing all kinds of baits Neko rigged, like this, and this. So with this revival, which we can maybe call a Creedence Clearwater revival, okay, maybe not. Anyhow, we shouldn't be surprised seeing new and different Neko Rig hooks coming out. Now, it kind of started with the deadly VMC Neko hook and the Gamakatsu G-Finesse Stinger, then the Ryugi Talisman hit, and then we got the Gamakatsu G-Finesse Heavy Cover Hook, which has a built-in swivel that stops line twists when you're Texas rigging the bait and fishing it in cover. Now, two new hooks that came out recently are the similar looking but different Jackall Coilock Hook, which is also for fishing a Neko rig and cover, and the Varivas Maji Neko hook. I hope I said that right. To me, that Varivas hook looks like it has a different shape to it, and supposedly it's designed for deeper hook penetration and better bait control. Anyhow, if a Neko rig isn't on your deck every time you go out, maybe rethink that? Get you some
mojo.
Yeah, that. Number 4. What if a jerkbait and a crankbait had a baby?
That is disgusting.
Now hold on, lady, it might not be that bad. I mean, Japanese bait company Evergreen just came out with this. That's the Evergreen DXV-18, which was co-designed by former Elite Series pro and Japanese hammer Morizo Shimizu. And Morizo, by the way, happens to be half the team along with Brett Hite, who co-designed the amazing Z-Man Evergreen jackhammer bladed jig.
Stick that in your pipe and smoke it.
The DVX-18 is designed to be a jerkbait crankbait hybrid. Here's the deal. The bill makes it dive quick and run straight with a supposed balsa-like action. The bill also allows you to snap it like a jerkbait. And lastly, the bill allows it to be fished on the bottom and around cover like a crankbait. That said, it's also definitely designed to also be fished for suspended fish like a jerkbait, which I assume means it's forward-facing sonar friendly. Now, this isn't the first jerkbait like crankbait or crankbait like jerkbait to come along, but maybe the first since forward-facing sonar got so big. Let me know if you know. It could be the... We'll find out, man. Number 5. Ever see a screw head jig head like this?
Wait, something screwy here.
Yes, it is. Do you want to be able to change the weight of your jig head without retying? I mean, that could be interesting in theory, but I have some questions, which I gotta assume whoever invented this thing thought through before putting it on the market. First deal is, does the head always thread on straight up and down? I assume so, but obviously that's important. Does it stay tight when you're fishing it or after fighting a fish? And of course, does it keep that bait level? Someone on social said it's similar to the old Lindy X Change system. And I guess it is if you mean being able to change jig head weights without retying. But the screw deal is different. I don't think the Lindy thing took off. And this one?
No one knows.
Those guys mean business, man. That's all I got for you this week. Thank you for watching. Thank you, Seafoam and Kistler. See you next week. God bless you.